I'm going, you going. Everybody around me with it. Yeah. Everything around me with it. Yeah. I know it, you going. Everybody around me with it. Yeah. Everything around me with it. Hey, Gladiator, and welcome to Move Out Part 2. Again, I'm Harold Keith with the Limitless Collective. Excited to have you back. Now listen, if you skipped over Part 1, rewind. It is time to go back and be a part of this whole journey, this whole message, because God is trying to tell you something. I know He told me a lot, and I hope it's blessing you. All right. Again, I'm with the Limitless Collective. My name is Harold Keith, and our mission is to impact the world through the foundation of faith, our God-given gifts, and obedience, one assignment and community at a time. So I know part 1, we ended off strong. We are now getting in the heat of things. So take a listen. Make sure you eliminate any distractions, because Move Out Part 2 is here. About myself that I know will transition into you as well, because it's true. Number 1, I proved that I wasn't who I used to be. So you aren't who you used to be. Hashtag, you have grown. You aren't who you used to be. And you know, some people will make you feel guilty for that. Some people will talk down for you. Oh, you changed. Not every change is a bad thing. I say this all the time. Somebody, you know, when people date and they want to try to get to know you, they're like, oh, well, you know, you change. What you think about change? What do you think about this? Or what happens? Listen, I don't want to get into all of that because it doesn't matter. I have a different mindset nowadays. I've grown. So what I realized is if I'm with you and we're together and you're not changing every day, then that's a problem for me. I don't want you to be okay with the same person that you were when you were in the 7th grade. I don't want to have the same conversations that you always have about what you did in college. Every day is a new day, new opportunities, new lessons. Let's talk about how we've grown. Let's talk about where we're going. Let's talk about how good God is in the areas that we used to suffer. And let's talk about where we are now versus where we were then. Let's talk about an analysis of where we're going. I don't want to wake up and be the same. Even in all this craziness that's been happening on the go and all of that has been going on, I can still tell you that God is good, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Before I used to say that and try to convince myself that I'm going to make it through. Nowadays, I say it because I believe it and I trust Him. And that's growth. Nowadays, I don't even, the dating process is so different. Because I can tell in 2 minutes whether or not we're going to move forward. I don't want to talk about, don't ask me what my favorite color is. That's cute and everything. Save that for a different kind of conversation. Ask me what God do I serve? Now we're talking about something. Number 2, you aren't where you used to be. You aren't where you used to be. Hashtag, you have grown. Congratulations. You aren't where you used to be. Think about where you were a couple years ago. Now, I know some of you are like, well, I've kind of gone backwards. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Sometimes you have to learn some mistakes, and sometimes they need to be repeated so that you can finally get it and it clicks. Because one thing I've learned about my move out season is once I get the lesson, I don't want to go back there. Now it's like back in the day, because I can't say nowadays because kids can't get beat. They can call and they call on you and you go to jail for it. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad I got some of the beatings I got, the punches in the chest I got, because you know what it did? It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. Not, if anybody doesn't, I'm not saying that you have to do that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm speaking on is my upbringing. And I didn't get them that often because I was an angel. But what I'm saying is, it taught me something. You will get beat up sometimes. It's going to happen. But eventually you get tired of getting punched. And when you've grown and you learn lessons, when things come at you, the punches don't hit the same because you have changed. Life is hitting you left and right. Things are hitting you, but now you're like, okay, let me swerve. Okay, what's next? I got it. Okay, I can take that punch. That's something I've been through before. That ain't nothing. You got to come harder than that. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Excuse the dog in the background. He felt the Holy Spirit. All right. Number 3, your faith is stronger. Hashtag you have grown. Your faith is stronger. I realized that my faith is not where it used to be. It started off as a baby. I went to church, played with my toys, and lost some things in the pews because my parents were going. Then it was got a little older. I thought going to the club and hiding under our pool table would excuse me from going to church, but no, I was found and I had to still go to church. And eventually, coming into adulthood, I formed my own relationship with God. After I formed my own relationship with God, it continuously grew. Then it went through a phase where I was like, all right, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and then I'm gonna pray about it, and God gonna forgive me so we can move on. But now certain things just don't sit right in my spirit because my faith is stronger. Hashtag I have grown. Number 4, it also proves to yourself that your whys matter. WHYS or why. Your whys matter. Everybody has a why. You have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And sometimes you're like, well, it's still not enough. That's not your why. The right why will take you far. But hashtag, I know y'all gonna say it, you have grown. Want to try again? You are woke. You are woke. You're aware. That why will fuel you. Once you start shifting the way you are, once you start moving out, you realize nothing's the same. Nothing's the same but our God. Familiar, yes, but not the same. And number 5, you prove to yourself that you are free. Hashtag you are woke. You're free. You're not tied down anymore. I used to feel so guilty for saying no. I used to feel so guilty for not going here, going there. I used to feel guilty for this and that. I don't feel it anymore. I have a good friend of mine. They love to drink. And before I used to be out with them. Yes, let's get it. Drink after drink. Oh, okay, I'm good. Nowadays, I'm like, no, I'm just drinking water. And they will, oh, you're not going to drink with me. Oh, you're not going to, oh, no. But I still stand firm because it's just not where I'm at anymore. I'm free. I don't rely on substances. I don't do any of that. I have to be free. The more free you are, the more that God can use. So I've learned in this moving out season that the circumstances and the situations don't dictate who I am and where I'm going. My gifts, my purpose, and my God does that. I can walk into any situation and shift it. Maybe that's not your gift, but you have a gift that will help you navigate through any situation. But you gotta lean into your gift, not anyone else's, because no one's gonna maneuver like you do. You can go to somebody for all the advice. Like you call me, I can pray for you, I can give you all the advice in the world. But at the end of the day, it's gonna really be between you and God. Because what I've learned is people come to you in need, they say this, but they don't give you the full truth. So you're only operating on favoritism. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna leave it right there. This moving out season really, and I'm still in this season, and a lot of us are, we're always going to be in a moving out season. Not to say you can't set up a good foundation somewhere, but then how you expand on that foundation. You will be exactly where God needs you to be. And you will know when it's time to shift in anything in your life. You don't have to have it all figured out. For we live by faith, not by sight. You don't have to have it all figured out. Stop allowing the past to hold you down. Forget the former things. We do not dwell on the past. And what I've learned also, side note, for people who keep bringing up the past and all they can talk to you about is the past and your past memories, they belong in your past. I have somebody I know that's still trying. They did me wrong. I forgave them. We can stay cordial, but they still try so hard to find that connection. But every time they try to find a connection, all they can bring up is the good times we once had. And I had to evaluate myself. And I said, well, the good times that we once had don't apply anymore. I don't have a good time doing those things anymore. But once I invite you to a prayer call, you can't show up. I know my kind of people. I got to be okay with letting some things go. When you move out, you let some things go. Everything doesn't make the move. Everything does not make storage. Some things you need to sell. Some things you need to just give away. Some things you need to donate. Some things you need to put in the garbage. But that's for you and God to figure out. I can't tell you. So if you're asking yourself, why am I here? What is going on? My biggest advice to anybody who's under the sound of my voice right now is to don't ask God, why am I here? Ask God, how can I move on from here? How do we move on from here? What is it that I need to do in this season to elevate? How can I serve you on a larger scale? What is it that I'm missing? Wow. Okay, Gladiator, do not get upset with me, but we're going to pause right here and get prepared for part 3. But again, take a moment. Let it reflect. Remember, this is between you and God. This is your process. God is taking you through this process for a reason. It is your season. Move out. What is it that you need to move out of? Really think about it. What needs to go with you? What needs to get left behind? That's between you and God. I can't tell you that. Only you and God can figure that out. But I promise you, your obedience, your sacrifice, and your release will take you so far. So far. So hope this message is blessing you. Part 3 is up in the queue. Again, if you want to learn more about the Limitless Collective, if you want to be a part of the live action and not just the recaps or not just the playbacks, then check out our website, thelimitlesscollective.org, thelimitlesscollective.org. Again, we are here to make a difference. We are focusing on that relationship with God. We are breaking generational curses. We are doing what it is that we need to do as a collective to just be faithful to what it is that God is telling us to do and operate in our purpose and our gifts. You have a purpose here. So if you're liking what you're hearing, you want to hear more, you want to get more involved because there's so much that we have to offer, check out thelimitlesscollective.org. And again,